Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari and my guest this morning is Mr. Olayinka Ola Daniel, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Thank you very much as always for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, sir.
Our
good
pleasure.
morning, viewers.
Indeed, our pleasure. There's so much going on, but a story that sort of touched us was Nigerians, some Nigerians. There's so much going on, but then I guess some are having it worse than others, and I'm referring here to the reported 330 Nigerians repatriated, stranded Nigerians, it needs to be said, stranded in Libya, repatriated in two batches on Wednesday, just 2 days ago. First batch was 158 people, second batch 172 people, and no doubt a lot of Nigerians know about this story now. And talking about Nigerians going out, I don't know if it is the hardship, if it is just a sense of we travel, we explore like people around the world. A bit earlier than that, there was a story of 23-year-old Itunu Babalola. That's a Nigerian girl, but she is said to have been based in Ivory Coast, was wrongly jailed. There are details to the story. The chairperson of the Diaspora Commission, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-erewa, had said that unfortunately we didn't get to know officially, their commission or any official channel didn't get to know about the travels of that young lady. We'll see if we can, we scheduled to try and speak with Abike Dabiri-erewa, chairman of the commission, as I just said, and as soon as she comes on, we'll bring her on. Is this pretty regular? It can't be regular, but I wanted to. Regular was the wrong word. Is this ordinary? Does this happen to all Africans? But we're talking about it because it is ours. What's the situation? Because it's heartbreaking, really.
Well, on Itunu, it is sad that the poor girl had to die in such manner. My condolences to the family.
Yeah.
I sympathize with
That's
them.
the earlier
event.
Before the latest repatriation of 330 people.
Yes, I think I spoke on a platform about this, and what I said was, because the chairman of the diaspora committee, whatever commission, diaspora commission, yes, said that they got to know like 5 months, before the incident, before the death. And I asked, yes, I'm not saying these people are not doing well. I'm not saying they are not working, but I feel that is the Nigerian the commission. I'm not saying they are not working, but I feel that they are not doing enough. How do I mean? We have Nigerians all over the world. And the reason why this commission is set up is for you to know what is happening to our people all over the world and see how we can be of help when there are issues.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, it is this same country. We're here when we heard that a senior official of Nigerian in a country, this Singapore or somewhere, that was maltreated and rough handled and embarrassed and all that. Till now, what have we heard? What is the outcome of that nonsense? Now, this is not someone that just sojourned. This is a representative, an official that is working in the official capacity, representative of Nigeria. But we have not heard anything. That is the reason why I'm saying we are not doing enough. Nigeria is a country, when we cough, everybody in Africa should catch cold. But I went further to say, if there's a saying that says, I'll address you the way you are dressed. If we present ourselves to the world in a particular manner, if our leaders take the welfare of their citizens seriously, and if the world don't see the way they mess up because looking at it, we heard what happened. There's an allegation that she went to complain, somebody stole something from her, and because the suspect was a relative of the DPO, or the IPO, whatever DPO, something changed. Power change ends. The story changed against her. Now she was the one in detention, and she was allegedly jailed. And what happened? The story is that that was the allegation.
The case that she had taken to the police was turned against her.
And the question allegedly. Is that in Nigeria, does it happen? Yes. We are in the field. We know what we see. We know what happens. It happens. I was with Legal Aid at some point in my journey. I work with Legal Aid Council, and we go to the prison to meet inmates and ask questions so that we can get files and see how we can get bails for some people. Okay, already there are people in the prisons that had no business in prison. Maybe the only time they went to court was the day they were remanded in that prison, and they never took them to court, and they've spent 6-7 years in prison. Now, if we get such treatment in our own country, now tell me what you want to see outside the shore of the Nigerian, outside the shore of this country, when they are treating our people like nobody.
Okay, I hear you, but let me now bring it back, especially when you said that you're not really happy that Nigerians in Diaspora Committee as a body is doing enough. The way, again, crisscrossing the lines, jumping to this latest repatriation from Libya of 330 Nigerians in 2 tranches last Wednesday. One of them, one young lady, her name, escapes me now. I think I have her somewhere in my notes here. Well, she narrated, now that she's back home, that she messed up. She deceived her parents. She went under the notion that she would be able to make 120,000 naira over there. And so whatever her condition was here, it seemed that she, look at the route. I just took notes of the routes. She started off in Ibadan. She then, traveled to Kano, from there to Niger State, and then into the desert, as she put it, en route Libya. Now, look at that kind of a journey. I think I've heard Abike Dabiri say in the past, and other diplomatic people, that, look, they can't work magic. If you don't let us know your situation, if you don't let us know where you are, yes, we've been set up, but we need help. But for whatever reason, and I think one can guess 1, 2, or 3 of those reasons, I'm not sure that Nigerians want to report themselves to Nigerian authorities outside of the country. And so this hampers efforts towards what you would desire, because we hear these stories. If it were a UK citizen, a French national, an American citizen, all their consulate people, they go in there. Our people don't even get that chance. I'm not saying that that is indeed reason why our people should be treated shabbily. But Abike Dabiri, for instance, it's in the news, you know about it. She said, we didn't, the commission, the Diaspora Commission, in the case of the Côte d'Ivoire case, that they didn't get to hear about it for about 5 months? 5 months, not 5 years.
5 months.
Because she was jailed for, what, 20
that was from 2019.
Years. Yes, yes, exactly. She was jailed in 2019 for 20 years. Yes. And she had started serving that wrongful sentence without the commission having heard about it. So it's a very complicated affair. It is what it is. Not all Nigerians that make these kind of journeys go over to our people to register, especially if they enter, for example, in this case, through the desert.
Yes, in as much as I have reservations for the way some of our people leave the country, in as much as I have...
I beg your pardon. I do... there's a problem. I didn't hear it, but I understand that we can now speak with Mrs. Dabiri-Erewa, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. She has joined us by Zoom. Good morning, Abike.
Good morning.
Aha! Thank you very much for making. Thank you very much for making time for us, because I understand it's a very, very tight schedule, and you've just sort of snatched a few minutes there for us. I just wanted to, we're concerned, as all Nigerians are indeed concerned, about the latest arrival of about 330. And we were just making the point, you might have heard about it, that you've often said in the past that part of the challenge is that people don't even let you know, or let our embassies know when they are in town, especially those that enter informally, shall I say, delicately. What was the situation with these 330 stranded Nigerians that have been repatriated on Wednesday in 2 tranches?
I lost you.
Okay, I was wondering if you could give us some background to the 330 stranded Nigerians in Libya, their arrival on Wednesday. I don't know if you heard me say that. Okay.
Okay, sorry, because it's going to be a very tight thing, but let me pick what I heard. Let's start with the Libyan returnees. Number one, you consider it's been handled by NEMA, an international organization for migration. So it's not really a NIDCOM affair, but we work with them. That some time ago, President Buhari, the ministry to Libya, they went to Libya to get Nigerian stranded in Libya back. Under President Buhari's instruction, they set up a team led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We went inside Libya detention centers, brought back over 9,000. That was about 3 years ago. Brought back about 9,000 back into the country. But it's quite disheartening that despite all that, Nigerians are still going. Now, where they are coming from now, it's not even Tripoli and other places. It's right to places where you don't even expect that anybody in a war-torn situation can ever get to. So, I don't know what your guest said, but the key thing is, how do you stop trafficking? These are traffic victims, but they are being brought back now by IOM, and NEMA will be on hand to receive them, and the Consular Department and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So the key thing is, how do you keep going? And let me tell you something. Anybody being trafficked now that goes to those places, you are not likely to get anywhere. You're going to return, if you're lucky, alive. And in most cases, those that are alive are the ones that are coming. So I don't know how government needs to do its own bit of providing enabling environment for jobs to thrive. But at the same time, you're leaving the country to look for work. When you're going to, you won't get the job. And to make it worse, you're going to be dehumanized. One of the girls who came from Lebanon said to me, I'd rather be sending Google under the bridge than go through what I've gone through. So if they know when they're going to, they won't happen. Well, unfortunately, these are traffic victims. They pay to go there. They pay about ₦1 million saying they're going to Europe. You're not getting anywhere anymore. I think that should be the massive awareness now. But like I said, it's basically NEMA, IOM, and the Consular Department, Ministry of Foreign Affairs that's handling that. But I'm here to just shed light on that. On the case of the Tuno, which I saw that you talked about, I heard you make some points. Yes, this is what we're saying. And I hope I can stress it here. She has been in jail. She was sentenced through a country's legal process for 10 years imprisonment. She has spent 2 years in prison before it got to the mission's attention and the Diaspora Commission. And then the mission, immediately swung into action. Any lawyer will tell you that if you're already in jail, if she's been sentenced, don't forget, a court process are taking place. She has been in jail for listen, this is not fair. Went ahead and appealed. The ambassador paid the fees. People mobilized and raised funds for it. And the appeal had to be transferred from where it was to Abidjan, which was the first thing to do. Sometimes it could take as 2 years, but because of the ambassador Adamu's intervention, it took 6 months. That had been done. Transferred to Abidjan, bring her back, start the appeal, and then she died. So I hope that other cases vary from one to the other. So Tunu's case was different from Zainab's case. It's different from the girls, the 2 boys who brought back from Bosnia and Herzegovina. So they vary from person to person and country to country. So I hope that I insist that the Nigerian mission did all they could to save it to now. Like you said, if they had known 2 years before, maybe the case would not have gone to court. Because Nigeria was the one that was now appealing as a country, despite the fact that she was Becky Paul or it doesn't matter. But she went on her own and, maybe she thought she could solve it, she couldn't. So I just needed to stress that.
In fact, news reports say that she is based in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire now. News reports say that she was based in Ivory Coast.
Yeah, but the case took her to somewhere. It's like you are based in Lagos, they take your case to Yola. So the first thing is to transfer that case back to Lagos, which is the first thing the Nigerian ambassador did. So you can imagine somebody in Lagos, you are now going to answer a case in Yola. That in itself shows wickedness. So the first thing you do is, it's only in Lagos you can get justice. If you are in Yola, you are finished. So even Itunu herself sent a message to me that, please, first thing, let's transfer this case to Abidjan, which is what they did. So it took 6 months to do that. In normal circumstances, it would take 2 years. But because of the diplomatic intervention, it was sped up. And just to start the case, the next thing, they said she had an infection, something, and then she died. So I really think, I still insist that everybody is angry. I'm angry. Everybody is angry. But in the court, they paid the lawyer thousands of dollars. They had mobilized the lawyer. Just start the case. If the appeal has started, I'm sure she would not even have spent a month or two. But they appeal, because now Nigeria had involved itself as a country.
There were news reports that the president had ordered an investigation into the circumstances that led to her death. How true is that?
Yes, an autopsy has been carried out. I think it's been concluded. I don't know the exact result, but it's been concluded, I believe. That's what the bishop said. But what we want to do now, after the autopsy, there's some documentation, and then her corpse will come back to Nigeria, because that's what the father wants. And the arrangements are being made as to where she'll be buried and all that. So everything is going on. But the autopsy, I think, has been concluded. But there's some documentation that has to come with the corpse, and we'll take it from there. And we are still saying that even in death, we should continue the case. But that's going to be family. The father says, I just want to see bury my daughter. And then he needs support so that we can help him, alleviate at least some of the pain. But she was 21, but she was a breadwinner of the family.
And now, but to the most recent case, thank you for, explaining that and also clarifying some of those figures. Not 20 years, but you just explained 10 years, had spent 2 years. But
so she was given 20 years.
Okay.
Which was reduced to 10 years. So after the 10 years, she had spent 2 years in jail. What it means is that Ivory Coast law had convicted her. Nigeria now said, no, you are not guilty, we want to appeal. And that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do.
Okay. Such a pathetic story. But coming to the latest 330 stranded people, you've just explained that they were trafficked in any case. So that probably, adds a bit more, Philip, to what I've heard, organizations like yours, like embassies say that they don't, you people are not supposed to become detectives and start trying to ferret out every Nigerian there. I imagine Nigerians have to come to you. But if a person has been trafficked, that person is not going to have the access to come to you, I imagine. And this complicates matters. So you won't even be aware that there are Nigerians there because, as you've explained, they were trafficked there. Even though it's in their best interest to let people like you, people like embassies know, we understand that because they were trafficked, this is usually very difficult. Okay, I think there's been a cut to the line again, but she's explained it. Please let me know as soon as Abike is back online. But we just heard some of the parameters, especially in relation to the latest case. We got a bit of information on the Itunu case and work, at least it's going on there.
But I still want to say something on Itunu.
Sure.
Because if we don't fix that now, this will continue. And the one that I want to add to that, whatever that has happened, autopsy or not, result of the autopsy or not, something must be done.
But
because they are saying that, now what she said, the parents just want the corpse of their daughter and they just want it to go. But I want Nigerian government to pursue this matter as a reasonable conclusion. I need them to find that they need to investigate.
Okay, what you're saying is that never mind the emotional aspect of her parents wanting their body. You're saying that Nigerians
they need to find out if the allegation is true, is found out to be true, that the matter was changed. That because a DPO, the suspect was a cousin and the story changed and she was wrongly sentenced.
All of these will come out, I imagine, in the investigation that the
that is what I'm saying.
Ordered.
Yes, and that is the reason why I need that to happen. After the investigation, then whoever that is found culpable should face the wrath of law.
Okay. Even over there in Cote d'Ivoire.
Meaning that is where the diplomatic armor of Nigerian comes in to insist that they want to pursue this matter to the reasonable conclusion. Whoever that is culpable must be punished. Because when other countries, when they see your actions, when they see what you do, they will be careful to deal with your people anyhow. But when you just let it lie and everybody is quiet about it and no result has come after this whole thing, it will continue, Uncle Yori.
Okay, I hear you, but I don't know. Abike, can you hear me now? Okay, apparently Abike Dabiri has had to leave. As I said, she snatched, a few moments from another engagement she was in, and we thank her for that. But she did give us some sort of insight, and we'll open the phones and let's have a conversation about this. The thing that I didn't mention that she brought out in relation to the latest case here, where we have 2 batches on Wednesday came in. One is 158 people. They include men, women, and children. The other is 172 people. And I was just narrating the story of this young lady who left Ibadan for Kano and then Niger State. But as Abike was putting it, they were trafficked. Even when you look at the news reports, she said that a friend of hers had persuaded her, say, look, you can't just sit down there waiting for a job that is not going to come. You'll make 120K. Yes. And people who have read the story say that, she came into all sorts of terrible situations. When people, you can't prevent a person from going out, even illegally, because it's going to be done secretively.
Yes.
They won't announce. If they were to announce to people. Now that young lady, and I wish I could remember her name. Maybe somebody will phone in and tell me about the young lady who came in on Wednesday and who herself was now saying, don't let anybody deceive you. There's nothing to be gained in Libya. Now, she deceived her father. She took the 800,000 naira by her own account that her father had provided for her to start a business and used it. This was her own testimony, and she was saying that she now needs to say that, in fact, she even said it, it's not until you are out of your country, out of your home, that you now realize that, men, you were much better off there. So there's that whole situation that complicates matters. If she were not saying all of that, she deceived her father. And, so she's not going to report to any agency. She can't even report to any agency because she was trafficked. You heard the horrible details that where she was, first of all, kidnapped, about 50 of them, according to her, raped and all of that, kidnapped, brutalized, beaten. Where she was working, she was cheated. They wouldn't pay. And so they asked, they go and get your what do they call them? This trafficker, whatever, I don't know that they call them agent. Go and bring him to come and bill you. That won't bill them with 1.2 million each. She had to now work for 2 million to pay these people back. Yes. And we just have a problem on our hands. Not every person who is suffering this hardship goes to these lengths, but there are a few. And it's unfortunate because they seem to be left to their own devices.
It's unfortunate that this happens year in, year out.
It does, no matter what the warning.
Yes. Look, I don't have problem in people sojourning, going out of, the country to go to other places to sojourn and all. But now, how you go matters to me.
It does, it does.
Now, some of them, there's a package that whoever that the traffickers that is taking them out, there's a package they give them. When they put up this packaging, these people go and they tell you you're going to Europe. So how you get to Europe, they will tell you this is the amount, and they will tell you the route to go through. So by the time they are going through Libya, already as they're moving, they take their passport. Once they get to Libya, they take their passport as security. They take their international passport and they tell you, okay, sorry, now we are here. Before you proceed further, you have to generate funds to recover all the money, expenses that I have spent here. So then you have to work.
Yes, let us come back to, I'll come back to that story because Olushola has called him from Ibadan. Good morning, Olushola in Ibadan.
Yes, Uncle Yori, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your analyst in the house. Good morning,
yes.
Sir.
Good morning.
Now, Uncle Yori, you see, one of the challenges we have as a nation is that we need to find out the problem that is making people even to engage in all this trafficking, number one, Number two, people trying to look for greener pasture in other parts of our country. If our economy is okay and our country is well governed by our leaders, there's no need Nigerians going out there. Then, secondly, our leaders, for this one, for this girl, Babalola Itunu, they need to go to the nitty-gritty of this matter and make sure that we try to come out with a substantial reason why this issue has happened, and that punishment should be meted on people that have done this dastardly act on her. I believe something in my spirit, that her spirit will not rest. She will as well want people to fight on her behalf. She will have a rest in wherever she has gone to. Good morning and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you very much for that call. It's, you know, you were telling the story. It's well, he's wanting justice, because even if they were abroad wrongfully, you don't pay the ultimate price for that. And that's why he's saying from Ibadan.
I was about saying that, but when we moved to the other one, so that's the reason why I did. Because, look, whether wrongfully, because the question I wanted to say, okay, what about the ones that are there legitimately? We're talking about the ones that are going there wrongfully, or they have immigration issues or something, but what about the ones that are there legitimately? Now, we're talking about diaspora and the embassy, all of them finding out 5 months to a debt. At the point this girl started leaving, as at the point the issue came up, as at the point they changed the narratives and they turned the game against this lady, as at the point this lady went to court and she was jailed, who were the Nigerians that were there? Because I believe that every country that we have our people, they have the association. They have Nigerian, I mean, in fact, different communities and all that. So what did they do? Now, the question now is the Diaspora Commission, the embassy of each country, because we have embassy in all these countries, the embassies, the High Commission or whatever, the ambassador there. So what do they do? What is their relationship with the Nigerian
with the Nigerian presence
communities
in those areas?
Because if they have good relationship with them, I doubt if Itunu's matter will come 5 months to a debt.
Okay.
And while she was serving prison terms already.
I just found that the name of the Nigerian lady, the young lady who was telling us about deceiving her father, is Omoni. Okay. Mr. Okpara, good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Thank you for holding on.
And good morning to the guests there.
Good morning.
The thing here is that if the head is good, the bottom will be okay. If our country is good, there is nothing that will hinder and make somebody to go out of this country. There is no, God has not blessed us so much here. And what we are having, our leaders have made them a living hell. I have traveled like this before. I have traveled abroad. I tell you, the country has not 1% of what you have. They are living fine. The youth that God has blessed with everything here, the leaders have need to be a literal hell unto Nigerians. What is that? When the father does not take care of the children, what do you expect others to do? They will maltreat you.
Okay.
Because it has not happened twice. What come out of it? Nothing. Especially look at one that happened at Indonesia last time. What is the result today? Nothing. It is the problem we are having that we are no way taken care of in this country. They have no good plan for Nigerians. So that's why people are going away. Please let them make here comfortable for Nigerians. And let the leaders respect Nigerians. Go to prison. Go to prison here. See, many people standing trial. So
all right, Mr. Kwara, thank you very much for calling in. I've got to go on a quick break now, but please stay with us. We'll continue this conversation and taking your calls to hear what you think about this whole situation. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. The problem has flared up again. Nigerians in diaspora. In this case, we're looking at West Africa, but it's happening all over the world. Over in Europe, just last week, you might have heard the news. People trying to cross the what is that body of water, the Kinekon Channel, and ending up in wiping out so many lives. Now, in our sub-region here, people are in great danger when they take these risks. I dare say it's possible. Look, Okpara was saying that it's because you know, we're quick to put it on government. That look, if our people had made this place more attractive, then we would have less of this. Be that as it may, but we still will travel. Our people. Tayo from Ilorin, did I hear? Is it Tayo or Ayo? I didn't hear properly. Tayo in Ilorin. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing? Hello to your guest.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I really want to get involved in this. Number one, I want to commend your program for touching on this. The way the lady, I forgot her name, Dabiri, Miss Dabiri, right?
Yes.
The way she's working.
Abike Dabiri-erewa, chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission.
Great. The way she's working, Nigeria need to train their ambassador a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Train your ambassador. Don't bring somebody that don't know nothing about it. Send them to a country because of politics. I have been to an embassy trying to register our name as a citizen. And they say, why you wanted to register your name? Register your name for what? That's number one. Number two, I saw myself. 2 Nigerians were arrested somewhere in South America. An ambassador was interviewed. I don't care what they do. Your job is to defend them no matter what. And the man said, you know, the country is very, very tough, and they're just trying to find. Arrested for a fake passport, and yet you are admitting that the fake passport is Nigerian passport. How can you, an ambassador, admit that? They need to be trained. And this government, as much as I'm kind of upset about it, this is the time Nigeria is kind of trying before Nigeria was dead, to be honest with you. And lastly, everybody going abroad, make sure you belong to a society, either to your church or to the mosque. One way or the other, they always invite the ambassador for education or whatever, anybody, an official from the embassy. If anything do happen, they need to be informed from the church, from the mosque. I don't know about any other country. I know for real, in New York today, we do that. So please, when you go out, either your church, whatever it is you're doing, please register. Make sure you belong to a society.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for making this call. And I think it's an important thing, because if people are going to travel, they need to understand that, look, there are certain quote-unquote housekeeping aspects that you yourself need to take care of. You need to jump-start the process. It's okay. But Tayo there criticized the quality of training of some diplomatic staff, you know, and he feels that, because he even cited his own example, that he presented himself to do what we're saying people should do. And because of the level of knowledge, dare I say it, over there, those ones were saying, for what? Register yourself for oh, it's not a laughing matter. But you see, because I think people need to just hear it, because maybe from hearing programs like this, you know that there are things you can do. Now, one, you want to travel. Two, you need to register yourself, especially, you know where it's important to register yourself. But what do you now do? Maybe that's another step. If, as was Tayo's experience, they say, so what? You are here. Why do you want to register? That's a problem. Yeah. But it was good to hear that. It was good to hear that. But 330 people, thank God they are back. It could have been a lot worse. Omoni explained that it's there, but for the love of God, she could have been one of those fatalities that we're talking about. Did I hear Emmanuel is on the line?
Good morning.
In Otukpo, Benue State. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to your guest.
Thank you.
Good morning.
This issue of illegal traveling, Nigerians going outside without papers, I think we need to address it. And the country needs to be serious with it. We cannot rationalize what is not correct. If you want to travel, travel with the right papers. If not, to make yourself a cheap victim for the countries where you go. Now, it is only when it backfires like this that we hear. And the number of people that cross successfully the Mediterranean to get into Europe, when they cross over, they are heroes and heroines. We don't know. We don't get to know. But when it backfires like this, they bring them back like victims or like captives of war. See, we have to lay serious laws concerning this issue. Many of them go willingly. Though they agree to go, they consent to the injury. And we cannot continue to shout power when they come home in this manner. So please, let us address our fellow Nigerians. Home is golden. We are kings in our home.
Okay.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Now we're talking about 330 Nigerians being repatriated. The point is, it's embedded in there that there might easily be 3,000 Nigerians out there and only these 330, because there are all sorts of people that, in fact, there are people who even tell you that they're doing well in Libya that are Nigerians. Well. But then maybe they are not trafficked, maybe they are trafficked, maybe they found their way. But I guess especially the youths who they know that what they're doing is a bit unconventional. That's why they're going via the desert. Nobody wants to travel via the desert, but they know that, look, it doesn't matter. Whatever, let me endure. No pain, no gain. Yes. I can't sit down here. That refers to the point that I was making earlier.
We heard Abike, and she said in 3 years, they brought in over 9,000 people, stranded Nigerians in Libya. In 3 years, 9,000. Now, we are hearing about 330, I'm sure, only over time.
I'm sure that's a slim percentage.
And while these 3 years we talked about that they were bringing in people, I'm very certain that a number of people were still leaving this country to go to the same place.
Of course.
Since Gaddafi died, Libya has not had a government to say, okay, this is the government, because they have different segment, different militant, different whatever that are running the show in Libya. Maybe this election that is coming in, maybe things will be properly done, and probably Libya will get themselves back. But as we speak, it's been like that. So when you go to a particular country like that, so you'll find out that this militant are the one doing this, that militant, so you may not even know where you falls in. The one that they said 350 people were kidnapped, another, it could be another group entirely. Now, which government does Nigeria really want to relate with in Libya?
No, I'm sure those ones are non-state actors. I am positive. These ones are non-state. I beg your pardon. Can I take Chris, who has called in from Kaduna? Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, Uncle Yeri, how are you, sir?
Very well, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yes. I find it very awkward for Nigerians who move into other countries where they don't even know how to speak the dialect or the language of that country. How do you make ends meet in such a country? You go to a country where you don't know their culture and you want to make a living and say you want to make a fortune. I don't think I can't go to China.
But I suppose it's a sense of desperation. Chris, I think it's a sense of desperation for them to overlook these important points you are making.
How can we be desperate in a no man's land? I don't think we should please bring back our home training where you wake up, you know where you are coming from and where you should be going to. Not just go to somebody's country and become a slave. I think that is disdaining humanity to any right-thinking human being. Please, let's do something about it. The government should make things favorable for all Nigerians to find a better place in Nigeria than to move out. When we were kids, we knew going to Europe was nothing to write home about. You pay 350 to and from to UK and London, Nigeria. And everybody was enjoying Nigeria. Please let them bring the glorious days back to us. That is all we should do. and ask from our leaders, so-called leaders that we have elected, and they are now become bosses in our own home country. Thank you, Uncle Harry.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Uncle Harry, I think we need to correct an impression. Look, in as much as I have my reservation for our leaders, for Nigerian leaders, of not doing enough, I think we must address this pertinent issue here. And what is that? Everyone has a right to sojourn anywhere in the world.
Correct.
There are Americans that are working in Nigeria. There are Indians that are working in Nigeria. There are people from other nations all over the world that are in Nigeria working. Now, so the issue of, yes, Nigerian leaders should put the country in, yes, people will still go, whether your country is fantastic or not, and people will still sojourn. They will go out to work.
And rightly so. Nigerians, do you know how many Nigerians there are in the UK, in
Very
the US,
well, in the US,
Italy,
everywhere. So what we are saying,
Switzerland, all over the place.
What I would emphasize more
trafficked one.
Thank you. What I would emphasize more, if you are going, go the right way.
Well,
don't go as an illegal immigrant.
Well, again,
don't be lured with this sweet talk and packaging that people tells you, oh, this will happen when you go there. And also the diplomatic body of Nigeria should take responsibility.
And that's where whoever is in charge, whether it is the diaspora, whether it is orientation, a campaign needs to be started to educate those who need to be educated. There's so many Nigerians that don't need to be educated as to the right way to travel. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Barrister Mataki. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Look, you didn't face the reality of life. We saw what happened 3 days ago, 4 days ago, about the English Channel immigration death toll. Now, what did they show us? The statistics show that 50% of people that died in that channel, migration death, how many? That between France and Britain.
Yes.
The 50% are from Libya. Now, if the 50% of Libya,
including children,
who is who in that very channel death, and that very channel death has created a very big problem between France and Britain. Now, as I'm talking to you, there is a serious discussion between France and the Europe. The European countries are annoyed with France because they said that the border level was so porous. That was why those things have been going on. Now, ask yourself, how many Nigerians are there? Now, we are talking about, now how much are they paying there? They said that 3,000 pounds, UK pounds, 3,000. Convert 3,000 pounds. Now, you have such an amount of money. Instead of to sit down in Nigeria and salvage their life, salvage their situation, that you are going to give somebody 3,000. Now, you ask yourself, Jawiri, where did they get the passport? Is it not from immigration office from Nigeria? How did they get to Libya? Is it not through motor or through bush track? Where are the security agents? The borders are so porous. Let us not blame government or blame Nigeria themselves should be blamed because Nigerians are out for quick money, sharp. As long as sharp money continue going on, talking about the economy. Look at what is happening in Afghanistan. People are dying outside because no house. People without money to pay for houses, they are being thrown out. They are dying on the street and they are hiding it. So what are you talking?
I hear you.
Also for parents and guardians, take care of your children. If you have resources, you born many. If you don't have resources, you born only 1 or 2 or highest 2 or 3. That is
Thank you very much,
but as long as we continue blaming God, we are just wasting our time. Let us know. If you like, pray from that. It will not. If you like, do fasting and fast, it will not help the station.
I hear what you're saying. Thank you very much for calling in, Mazi. But you see, I think I understand everything that Mazi is saying. But right side by side with that is the fact that every Nigerian is entitled to a passport. And a lot of people see a passport, which is a travel document, as a passport to success and having made it. And so people who are entitled to a passport because they are Nigerian born, they get this passport because Mazi was saying, where did they get the passport from? It doesn't really matter. They're entitled to it. Immigration is not supposed to ask you, now, what do you want to do with this passport? So this is a problem. When they go, you know, you see what I'm saying? It's not a simple issue. It's not a simple issue because they can simply, well, almost demand, but they can ask, apply for a passport, and they will get it. When you now turn around and go and do, nobody expects that if you have a passport, you're going to be journeying across the desert with your passport, unless you happen to be an explorer extraordinary.
Okay, those are even the ones that struggle good to get a passport. Some of those people, traffickers, are the ones that get those passports for them.
Aha, some of these traffickers.
Yes.
They obtain, so it's a business.
Yes,
it's a syndicate.
It's a business. Thank you.
Let's hear it from Ada in Jos. Yeah. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
Good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning, Ada from Jos. It's really sad the way things are going, you know. I don't want to say that it's because life is hard in Nigeria. That's why people are going out. The way they are going to, most of the places they are going to, like Libya and the rest of them, is even tougher than Nigeria. I think it has to do with a breakdown in family values. You know, there's so much moral decadence. So we should start from the family. You know, if the family plays their role the way they should play it, I don't think this will happen. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I have people who don't have a job and all that. They didn't decide going to Libya and the rest of them. So it depends on the control you have, you know.
Yeah.
So that is it. Then another one is there's so much greed. This insatiable nature of man, you know. There's nothing wrong, just like your guy said there. No matter how rosy anywhere is, even if Nigeria has everything, people who can still go elsewhere, you know. You have the right to go there. But what I hate is this illegal aspect. And I thought that if they don't know, they listen to it. Even this program you're running now, even though like just, deaths and all that. You can listen to it, but tomorrow you hear that they're off again. Even these people don't want that have been repatriated. It's a burden on our government in the first instance. And you know what? I'll tell you something. There are foreign missions. They're not well funded. They're inadequately funded. There was one case that happened like that. The girl came on radio, one of the radio Nigeria programs. She told us she was trafficked, and then when she discovered that it was all lies and all that, then she now ran away from the people they took her to, you know, where she was working as a slave or whatever. And then she ran to the embassy. And then the embassy said they cannot listen to her until 5 days. She told them that she has nowhere to go to. You can't believe it.
Yeah.
That was the one that I got pissed off, you know. Then they said they cannot keep her there, you know. So she now went into the street and she was raped. You know, so what are you talking about? You know, it's a problem. In Nigeria, how are we treating ourselves here in the first instance? You know, so they should also fund them too. They have a problem too. And then this thing, they should have a way of checking it. It has become one too many. I'm telling you, it's becoming embarrassing. God bless you. Let's not give up on this country.
Thank you very much, Ada, for calling in. Things have changed. Go back in the day to when Nigerians didn't need a visa to enter the UK, for instance, until relatively recently. But then things got tightened up. And people maybe of our parents' generation, they used to walk into the UK just because they were citizens of the Commonwealth. And a lot of Nigerians took advantage of that. Yeah. It's not everybody who went to the UK that became a lawyer and a doctor. True. It's not everybody at all. It doesn't matter. They felt at the time that just let me go there, things will be better. And so they go, and a lot of Nigerians are there in the UK, there in the US. But then they've tightened things up, and they can't go to those places. I imagine they wouldn't be treated as poorly as they are treated in Libya, for example. Yeah. But they can't access those places anymore. So in this desperation, they still have this notion that you go abroad, you've made it. This erroneous notion. Now, Omoni was among those who were saying that don't let anybody mislead you. There is nothing to that. So I suppose Ada was saying the sense of values, morals have dropped. Let's see if we can put in Garba. Good morning, Garba in Makurdi.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. I want to tell Nigerians, there is someone that I know very well. He's doing well, telling Okrika in Makurdi here. All of a sudden, he have a friend. The friend is living either in Libya or in one of these countries. He called him, persuade that young man. That young man get land, sold his land, sold his everything. As I'm speaking to you now, he's gone there. I lose the contact. If I try his line, he's not going there. He's not going through. Whether he's alive or not, only God knows. Desperate journey. He cannot do himself. I'm telling you, he sold his land in Makurdi. He's coming from East. He's an Igbo guy. Good friend of mine. Chikobi. He is there, sell the land, stop that Okrika business, move. As I'm talking to you now, 2 years, I cannot get him. Either online or on social media, none. I don't know whether he's alive or he's not alive. Only God knows. So I'm telling you, Nigeria, if you are doing well in this country, manage what you have. Forget about Eldorado that are telling you there that you never see. Manage your life there that you are doing. One day, one time, you will get there.
Yeah.
Don't be desperate to make money. How about that in Lagos?
Indeed. Thank you very much. Well, exactly. People just need to be safe.
Maybe
there are people from all over the country that come to Lagos. Lagos is the owner abroad.
Maybe I should tell people that the UK, that somebody has spent 10, 15 years and is not coming home, not because he had money, because he has remained the same for 15 years.
Yeah.
And the shame will not let him come back home. So it's not.
And in the process, he has become a citizen.
Very well. A citizen,
for whatever that is worth.
Homeless, a citizen, and that 15 years, you could be here and translate it to something positive for yourself. I think
a positive campaign needs to be mounted
very well
so that to educate, especially, look, Omoni, for example, was saying that she now wants, she truncated, she interrupted her own education in, I think, SS2 or something like that.
Yes, SS2, yes.
So she now is saying that she wants to go back to school. So definitely there was a lack of knowledge.
And she was 17 at that age when she left.
So,
and now 21. So how many years was that?
The adventurous spirit is fine, but you now need to put knowledge behind it.
Very well.
And so we continue to pray for our youths especially, but it's not just the youths. You know, a lot of people are just taking this desperate
not
move.
All the glitters
is gold. No. It's all about the grass is greener on the other side, and people, are searching for better pastures. But thank you very much for coming, Edinga. Thank you very much, and thank you to all those. It's a pathetic story that we have our youths, and all of this is happening, and in sometimes it's a fatal situation. But Abike Dabiri was telling us we continue to work at it, and it's not a one-way street. Both sides have to work with it. People who are traveling have to be able to contact our authorities over abroad, and the authorities themselves. As who was the gentleman who called in from Ilorin said that they were asking him in the embassy, so what are you registering for? So that's our program.
Any proper lecture.
Indeed. That was our program today. It's a Friday. We don't do weekends, so we'll see you, God willing, on Monday with a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.